Welcome. So now I'd like to share a set of Qi Gong stretching exercises called crane stretches. And you think about the crane as a graceful bird, and you can imagine yourself with the same grace. And just as a reminder, even though this set is a little bit more medium to high intensity in terms of demand on the body, always do it in a way that feels right to you. So you can still participate even from a chair, or just by sitting in a light natural stance, or maybe a little bit wider, without going as deep into the stretches or as wide. So always find that right balance for you. And just as a reminder, with any of these videos, once you get the hang of it, if you no longer need the dialogue, just mute it and play some nice music in the background, or be good with the the silence and just the stillness. So whatever feels right to you. So the crane stretches, and generally speaking, with all of our practices with Qi Gong or Tai Chi or Kung Fu, we typically will start with 3 deep cleansing breaths as a way to prime the pump, get the respiratory system going, blood circulating, Qi flowing, and so let's go ahead and do that. This is a great way to get centered and focused. Anytime you need to, 3 deep breaths, that'll help bring you into more of a calm, focused state. So here we go. Exhale. You can use the hands or not. We're going to bring the hands up to center with the breath in, like we're lifting the breath into the body. Exhale, press the hands down like the hands are pressing the breath out of the body. Nice open mouth, ah sound. Gathering from the ground up, from the sky down. The belly expand and fill the breath, fill the lungs. Chest expands and then compress, squeeze it out. And relax. We could continue with controlled breathing, but for now, we'll just focus on the stretch. Let your breath move in a way that feels right to you. Breathe nice and gentle and breathe into the stretches. So you can stay here in a natural stance, or you can go out a little wider. Toes out, heels out. This is called shimmying the feet. If this is comfortable for you, stay there. If you'd like to go wider, toes out, heels out. But we don't want to go so wide that we get binded up in the hip joint. So just sit nice and comfortable. There's a bend in the knees, so I have a nice shock absorber in my legs. And crane stretches. Enjoy. Reach out to the sides, scoop from the sides up. Imagine the hands above the head. And gently arc back. Only go as deep as you can. You just might gently arc back, or you might get a nice deep stretch by letting the hips and pelvis move forward, looking back and up at a diagonal. Breathe and let the butt drop. Sit. Bring the head and torso upright. Let the elbows come forward to the body, and then reach up. My legs are straight, but the knees are not locked. There's still a gentle, gentle bend in the knee joint. And I'm going to bend at the waist. I'm going to keep my back straight and just rotating the hips and bend as deep as I can comfortably. If you can, if you need to, you can rest your hands on the thighs above the knees. You can let the arms hang, or if you can touch the ground, touch the ground. Whatever feels right to you. You might find now that you want to go a little bit wider in the stance, so you can go toes out, heels out. You get a little bit wider, and stretch and breathe. Bend the knees and sit. Now we're going to walk the hands up to the thighs. Use the arms, not the lower back, to push yourself upright. And again, you can adjust the feet as needed. Crane stretches continues. Now we're going to stretch from one side to the other. We're going to reach across with the arms. One hand, so if I'm going to go to this direction, I'm going to bring the opposite hand over towards my shoulder and my other hand towards my hip. Palm facing up, palm facing down. My arms are fairly parallel, but at a slight diagonal. Now I'm going to adjust my toes, my feet. I'm going to bring my back toe in on the heel, or I can let my heel slide back on the toe. And then I'm going to turn the front toe out. And this is a bow and arrow stance, a lunging bow and arrow. And this also might feel like warrior pose if you're familiar with yoga. Now we're going to open up the arms diagonally, and we're going to bend in the front knee. Now I want to point my knee towards my toe, At minimum, knee above the ankle, and maximum, knee above the big toe. If I want a deeper stretch, I need to step longer. So I don't want to strain the joint. And now my arms are at a diagonal, palm facing up here, palm facing down here, but it's okay if you have that reversed, you can't break it. Just don't let yourself be in pain. So I'm going to focus on this lunging stretch first. Now I'm going to sit back, I'm going to push away from the front leg, and I'm going to bring my back heel in on the toe. So now both of my toes are turned out a little bit. I'm going to bring my front toe in a little bit, and just find the right comfortable length for you. Now my forward arm is going to come across, my back hand is going to come under, and now I'm going to sit back and down. So you might just be in a higher stance, sitting back a little bit, or this deep wide stance, and now you're going to press down. That might be as far as you go. I'm going to keep my knee pointed towards my toe. You might get all the way down there. Only go as deep as you can. Breathe and stretch. Cross the arms once again. And lunge forward. Push off that back leg. Move into that forward lunge once again. Now I'm going to change direction. Shift back. I'm going to push off my front foot. That toe turns in on the heel. Then turn my front toe out. I'm going to reach across. Arms are at a diagonal, parallel. Opposite hip, opposite shoulder, reaching across, feel stretch across your back, and then open up like that graceful crane and stretch your wings. Pointing my knee towards my toe, my front knee is above the ankle, or in line with the big toe, or somewhere in between, but not past the big toe. Stretch in that lunging bow and arrow. I'm going to look at my hand, and now I'm going to sit back. This forward hand's going to come across the shoulder, back hand's going to come across the hip. Let my front toe turn in a little bit. I'm going to adjust my back foot. So my toes are both turned out a little bit, open up the hips and groin. I'm going to keep my knee pointed towards my toe, on that back leg especially. Sit back and down. That might be as far as you go. You might get deeper, deeper, deeper. Only go as deep as you can. Cross the arms and lunge forward. And now shift center. Turn both toes in front. Feet are parallel. Sit down. Keep your back straight without your head going past your knees. And then swing the arms down. Winding up the hands. Bring the palms forward. Press down. Match at the back of the hands. Fingertips from the ground up the center. I'm going to roll my fingertips towards my body, towards my abdomen, up the center of my body, up, drop the elbows, palms facing up. And I'm going to rise to a high horse. Knees are still a little bit bent. And I'm going to make a fist and pull my fist towards the side of my hips to chamber the fist. Hold that for a moment and relax. Once again, other side, reach up. And gently arc back, only as deep as you can. Focus on your breathing. Stretch. Let the butt drop, sit. Bring the head and torso upright. Straighten the legs, raise the arms. Bend at the waist. And stretch. Only as deep as you can. Sit. Walk the hands up to the thighs. Press up with the arms. Knees are still bent. Going to the other side. Reach across. Reach under. Shift the weight. Back toe in. Front toe out. Lunging bow and arrow, crane stretches. Looking across the hand. Focus on the breathing. Toe pointed towards the knee. Knee pointed towards the toe. Knee above the ankle or maximum above the big toe. Shift back, reach across. Front toe turns in a little bit, back heel comes in or the toe turns out. Knee pointed towards the toe, sit back and down only as deep as you can, and breathe. Cross the arms and lunge forward. Change direction, shift back, toe turns in, reach across. Front toe turns out, lunging to the other side. Breathe, look it across the hand. Shift back, reach over and under, front toe turns in, either back heel turns in or the toe turns out. Find a comfortable stance and length. Only go as deep as you can, sit back and down. Cross the arms and lunge forward. Shift center, toes parallel, moving into a horse stance, like you're riding on top of a horse, toes are parallel. Go down all as deep as you can, arms drop down, winding up to hands. Press down with the palms, wind the fingertips up to center, rise and chamber the fists. And you can repeat that as you like. And shimmy the feet. Heels in, breath in. Toes in, breath out. Heels in, breath in. Toes in, breath out. Returning to a natural stance. One more deep cleansing breath. And release. Just take a moment to relax, to nourish. So imagine you're like a sponge soaking up energy, nourishing Qi. Just feel your heart beating. Just move into that inner awareness. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.